keratin plaque, I mean keratin regeneration just after milking, the teeth canal sphincter will be closed. Okay, it's natural.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay.
I found your presentation. It's Novadip or Novadip, something like that. It is artificially synthetic materials, or what is the difference between keratin plaque, keratin protein, and your Novadip? I did not get the
Okay.
clear. Thank you.
Okay. As far as naturally is concerned, there are two different things I'm talking about. Number one is sphincter. Sphincter will close. It's a muscular action. No, it's like smooth muscles, and those smooth muscles are getting contracted, and then the sphincter is closed. So that is a natural phenomenon through which it will not allow bacteria to enter inside because the gate is closed. Now the keratin plug which I was talking about is actually a plug which is formed during dry off. When you have stopped milking, then in that case there is a it becomes a period where you are not drawing any milk, and therefore the keratin deposition is taking place, and that it gets formed into a kind of plug, and that plug is a physical plug which is not allowing bacteria to enter. So these are two different things. So during lactation period, the patency of sphincter is important, and this patency of sphincter, the problem here is if the animal is healthy, especially if calcium level is normal, then the muscle contractions are also good, like calcium and phosphorus both. But if there is hypocalcemia, if there is subclinical deficiency of calcium and phosphorus, then in that case the muscle movement is not very strong, so sphincter doesn't close properly. Then number two, it takes some time after milking for the sphincter to close. And therefore, in Western countries, what usually they do, they don't feed animal at the time of milking. They do feeding of animal after milking. And the reason behind that is after milking, when they're feeding, they're standing. And for 15-20 minutes, if they're standing and feeding, the sphincter, there is a time available for sphincter to close. And then animal will sit. Now, in this part of the world, what we do, we feed animals at the time of milking, and we don't feed after milking. So therefore, immediately after milking, the animal will go and sit on the floor which is wet, and which is contaminated with dung and water, and therefore the bacteria will enter. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to cover that half an hour period during which sphincter is not closed by providing a supplemental physical barrier, and that supplemental physical barrier consists of polymers. And we have got two polymers which are mixed together, so that one polymer forms a kind of matrix which gives strength to the polymer, and the other one is a polymer which forms a very thin film of a very uniform pore size. And the advantage here is that we are not using any germicide. All these two polymers which we are using are food grade polymers. They are natural polymers. We feed it, we use them in food. One is one is drawn from algae, and another one is drawn from you know it's a marine driven, marine, the shell of the marine life. So those, it's an extraction of that, and both are mixed, so they form a very strong film which remains there at least for 8 to 12 hours, and then next milking it comes out. So that is one. The second Novadip, which I talked about, is again natural polymers, uh, again food grade. And number two, we are using solvent over there. And solvent we are using because we want to evaporate the solvent fast and form a film very fast, because otherwise if I use only aqueous and do not ionize it for polymerization, it will take at least half an hour for evaporation and getting dried off and for film formation. So the whole purpose is lost. So that is the reason why we have two different formulations for two different indications, but they are all food grade. We use them daily in our, if not daily, which are very commonly used in our food. They are natural polymers.
Okay, thank you. Now it's clear. Now it's clear. I'm happy to know. Actually, we are practicing and we are advising our farmer just allow the feed just after milking, and within 15 to 20 minutes the keratin plaque will be regenerate, and I mean the splinter will be regenerate. And in comparison with your polymer, I think it will be best because it's a food grade. We don't have any harmful or the side effect.
The thing is, currently the TTIP that are used are aqueous based and they are germicidal. So aqueous based will not form a film, and that's why it will not offer any barrier property. Number two, it has got germicide, so it is going to make teeth more susceptible. And that is the reason you find that whenever a farmer is using a teeth dip, and because of some reason if he stops using teeth dip, immediately case of mastitis flares up. It's like your aqua water, bottled water you are using continuously for 1 year, and you go to some other place where that is not available, and you drink normal tap water, you end up with severe dysentery. So in the same manner, teeth dip also has that effect. But our teeth dip will not have that effect because it is physical barrier. We are not destroying the local defense mechanism. So, and then another thing is, we always believe that, within 15, 20 minutes, the sphincter will be closed. But the radiographic evidence and other evidences have come up, which is saying that more than 50% in more than 50% animals, it is never closed totally. Because you are doing milking, and if there is wrong milking, you are destroying the muscles of the sphincter, and it gets slightly loose. So there is chance. So it's always a better idea, at least for high milking animals, high yielding animals, more than 10 liters. I always tell the farmers to use a teat dip, so that you are extra sure that you are given some supplemental protection to sphincter. I mean, your country need to take a decision. I mean, like the vets in the country need to take a decision collectively as to whether dry cow therapy is going to be useful. And when you say that there are lots of cases of subclinical mastitis, the way to handle is start from dry cow therapy. And with dry cow therapy, over a period of time, you will see that subclinical mastitis will come down. So initially, advisable thing is all cows that are being dried off will have dry cow therapy, but subsequently over 3 to 5 years, then you can have selective dry cow therapy, where only selectively animals which are high risk will go for dry cow therapy. So that is the strategy which academicians and the practitioners should take a decision and popularize in the country.